Thank you. That's not an AI-generated image, if you're wondering. So last February, I played my bass for humpback whales in Mexico, down where the Sea of Cortez meets the Pacific. I had my bass and all my electronics here hooked up to an underwater speaker, and I had hydrophones in the water connected to headphones so I could hear the whales, and in theory, they could hear me. This kind of created an environment that opened up the possibility for a call and response. National Geographic director Andy Mann captured these interactions in a film that's been showing at the Museum of Natural History in Mexico City for the past 6 months, and it's had over 200,000 visitors. That full-length version of the film also has some beautiful footage by Sea Legacy. The goal of our film, created with the Formadas Conservation Group, is to build public support for the creation of a large marine protected area in southern Baja to safeguard this thriving ecosystem from threats like deep-sea mining and industrial fishing. So my trip to Mexico began 15 years ago when I joined an expedition to Antarctica with the legendary biologist Dr. Roger Payne. Roger's 1970 album, Songs of the Humpback Whale, showed the world the beauty and complexity of whale songs. People really hadn't heard whale songs in the masses before. And overnight, it helped ignite the Save the Whales movement by Greenpeace. In preparation for the trip, I spent a few weeks trying to figure out how to play whale calls on my bass. When I got to Antarctica, I met this penguin. Oh, yeah. That was not Antarctica. That was South Georgia Island on the way to Antarctica. But he introduced me to his friend and seemed to be pretty into the music. So he introduced me to his friends, and and they introduced me to their friends. So, yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was like an anthill of king penguins. And the fluffy brown ones are the young ones. And the teenagers were kind of half and half and looked pretty awkward. It was a lot of fun. We left South Georgia and headed towards the Antarctic Peninsula in our icebreaker. And one night at sunset, I gave a concert and I started imitating whale calls on my bass. I kind of wanted to show Roger what I'd been practicing. There's Roger. So as I was playing and doing the whale calls, suddenly these 12 whales came and swam alongside our ship, and it was a truly magical moment. There's some more photos of that. When we finally arrived at the Antarctic Peninsula, I had a bunch of time off, so I took my bass all over the place as much as I could. These are some of the places. I also played for this seal. It was a lot of fun. So I also spent a lot of time playing my bass on a Zodiac, and that's the first time I'd really played on a small vessel. And it took me a while to figure out how to balance, because I really didn't want to fall in the water. It is cold water in Antarctica. But here, this is where I'm playing here. And I'll zoom out a little bit to give you some scale. So these kind of newfound balancing skills I learned in Antarctica came in handy 15 years later, last February, when I played on this small fishing boat in Mexico. I did almost fall in about 4 times on this trip, but everything survived. So the video I'm about to accompany is a shortened version of Andy's film. The whale sounds you'll hear are the exact ones I was responding to live that night on the fishing boat. The music is based off the improvisation I made that night. Thank you.